Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? It is currently 4:12 a.m. on this rainy Saturday evening, going into Sunday morning. It is currently 41 degrees outside as I take you into the morning hours. Well, let me tell you why I'm vlogging so late. Because I was just kind of hanging around the house tonight. I was gonna actually vlog earlier, but we were having a threat of freezing rain and like black ice and all that kind of stuff all night long. And I actually went out a couple times earlier and it was getting slick. And so I was like, I'm just gonna wait and see how the roads turn out, or I'm just gonna vlog from the driveway. Alex went to his friend's house tonight for a little birthday party hangout. It was like him and like 4 girls, and they got pizza and they were playing video games, and well, not video games, but they were playing games on the TV, like, you know. And then they were watching like music festival stuff and dancing, and they were just kind of having a fun night. So anyway, it was his one friend's birthday and she just wanted to stay in, and their one friend has a really nice house. So they just kind of hung out over there, and I told him, because he was going to Uber home, I said, well, so I took him over to his friend's house that lives close to us, and then her friend drove them out to this other friend's house, and I said he was going to Uber home, or the other friend was going to bring them home later. And I said, if it gets really bad on the roads late, just stay over at her house. You know, I don't want you out on the roads when it's icy and bad. Because in Indiana, although we don't get snow, we do get really bad icy roads that are really, really dangerous. So, we were texting back and forth, and he was just sending me videos and pictures and stuff of what they were doing and what he was doing over there. They were having a good time. And I got my videos up late. I pre-filmed a drama video for tomorrow. I pre-filmed a Peter Does Stuff video for tomorrow, and was getting all of that ready because tomorrow I have True Crime Book Club live stream with Mel and everybody at 4 o'clock, and we have brunch at, you know, 1 or 1 o'clock. We never go at 1 o'clock. 2:30 in there somewhere. And when we're done, I know that I'm gonna want to just kind of relax and listen to an audiobook, or I kind of want to finish the Alice Oseman graphic novel tomorrow. I'm about 1/3 of the way through. It's so good. So anyway, I got that done. I got dinner at Burger King, and then I was sitting there watching an episode of Queen of the Universe, which is that drag queen singing competition. I'm slowly making my way through it. Did not watch RuPaul's Drag Race yet. I'm saving it for tomorrow with Alex, because he's had plans the last 2 nights, so we haven't been able to watch it. But anyway, when I took Alex over to his friend's house is when it was really slick, and then when I went out later to go to Burger King, it was slick as well. So when I was sitting there watching the show and stuff, that was at like 10 o'clock or something, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just, this car is like coming over into this lane. What are you doing over here? So I was like, well, maybe I'll just, you know, if it's gonna be really icy out, I'll just sit in the driveway and vlog tonight. Like, I won't drive around. So at about 11 or something, I texted Alex and I said, I think I'm gonna lay down for a little bit with the dogs. And he was like, all right, babe. So right as I was getting ready to lay down, it started pouring down rain, like torrential downpours. And I was like, okay, this is gonna all freeze over. This is gonna be a complete mess. So, yeah. So I was like, I'm just gonna sleep until I get up, and then I'm gonna go vlog then in the driveway. And that had been my plan. Well, I slept till about 3:30, 3:40, and got up and took the dogs outside And then I actually laid there for a second and looked at TikTok. Like, I never do that. I don't know how I got on TikTok. Did somebody send me something and then I went to TikTok? Oh, somehow I ended up on TikTok. But anyway, I sat there for a second. I looked at all these TikToks. Now this car that was sliding over lanes just like went right behind me and it's like riding real close. So I was looking at TikToks and then I took the dogs outside, and like even our front porch a little bit was a little icy, and it was damp but not icy at all. And so like I walked out into the driveway and into the street and stuff, and yeah, it wasn't icy. So I was like, okay, well I guess I'll drive around. So I got myself some water, put the dogs in their house, and got some coffee. And so anyway, texted Alex, and now I'm out on the road. So anyway, but I think he's just gonna end up staying over there tonight anyway. So we'll go to brunch tomorrow morning. So yeah, that has been my night. He was sending me all these funny videos of them, like, I mean, it's literally like 5 of them, and they're in their living room, or in her living room, and they're like, they have like a music festival on the TV, and they're like dancing, and he's sending me these videos of them dancing and stuff like that. It's hilarious. And then he sent me like this picture, and she still has her stockings up on her mantle, and then it was like the TV is on top of the mantle. And so that was when they were playing. It's like, I don't know what game it is, but it was something like that. You know that You Don't Know Jack that we played at Caroline's house? It was something like that, and they were all like lined up on the couch. And so he took a picture of like the mantle, the fireplace, the mantle, on the TV, but like all of their feet in a row, like their sock feet in a row, just like sitting there. It was cute. So anyway, he's having a good time. But yeah, so that has been the day today. Today, Alex and I got up, and we're just kind of doing some stuff around the house. We just kind of stayed in bed for a long time, and he was tired from the week that he had, and so he was just kind of relaxing and stuff around today. And then I got up and was moving around and doing stuff. And it's nice on Saturdays because he gets up and like takes the dogs out, and he like feeds them early and gives Tucker his medicine and stuff. And you know, I usually do all that stuff throughout the week, so it's like nice because there's like one day. He does it on Sundays too, that way I don't really have to worry about that during the day, you know. So yeah, I can just kind of like sleep in, and I don't have to like think about all of that, which is nice. So I get to wake up to the dogs being all cuddly and cozy and sweet. And yeah, he was watching something on TV today. I can't remember what he was watching. He's been watching these like British shows, and I was telling him that he should watch God, that water is so good. That show, It's a Sin, that I think was on HBO Max, that was about the AIDS crisis, because it was so good. So I think he was gonna maybe watch that. What is going on up here? Two police officers pulled some. Oh, that person's like up on the. Oh God, their car was like up on the sidewalk. So yeah, he may watch that. So got up to that. Then I went and did a review at Dairy Queen. Then came back, and he had gotten ready, and then that's when I took him over to his friend's apartment so that they could ride over with their other friend to their friend's house. And that was that. And then I talked to Tanya Jean earlier today. And that was, I mean, it's so interesting to me. I go like long periods of time without even talking to anybody. I was thinking about that today. Well, Tanya and I were actually talking about that. Because she was like invited to go do something, and she said, yeah, she's like, I think I just want to kind of be by myself tonight with that. She and Eric were just going to kind of hang around the house or whatever. And I said, it's so weird, Tanya. I said, sometimes I go like whole days without really talking to anybody other than you and Alex, you know, or Valerie, and I'll text back and forth. We were texting back and forth earlier today. But like, I go whole days without really talking to, I mean, where I don't really receive text messages or phone calls or anything. Definitely phone calls, unless I call somebody. Well, Tanya calls me, but other than Tanya, like, if I don't call somebody, my phone barely ever rings. It's kind of coming down again. It's like not so cold though. It's 39 right now. But what did I say it was when I started? 41. I don't necessarily mind it though that I don't talk to people on the phone or that I don't text a lot, you know? I think there was a period in my life when I would have cared. Cheers. This is Maud's Coffee Cinnamon Sugar Cookie. I got the Maud's box out and I put a bunch of the K-Pods from Maud's into the drawer. I don't know what kind of coffee I'll drink this spring and summer. I'm gonna have to go on Amazon and find some spring and summer cookies, or spring and summer coffees. I don't know what that'll be. Is there lavender coffee? Ugh, that might not actually be bad. I can't believe that I'm getting ready to start planting my summer front porch, spring front porch and plants, and be out of the winter. I mean, really, it's like that's going to be the next thing. Before I know it, it'll be February, and I'll be saying to you guys, can you believe it's February already? And then, you know, we'll just be a couple months away from spring and summer. I honestly can't believe that I'm still really not going to get coffee. I know it seems like something that's so insignificant. And like Alex has really been like making coffee at home too and taking it to work because he drinks at Dunkin' Donuts coffee. And the way that I know is, do you have like those things that like you tell your husband like over and over and over again, and like, and I'm sure he has them with me as well, but like they never just seem to remember, you know? I'm like, okay, so babe, when you make coffee, like when you're done, take the K-cup out and put it in the trash, you know, so it's ready for the next person. So whenever I go to make coffee, there's always a Dunkin' Donuts K-cup in there. He's always like, oh, I forgot, I'm so sorry, I forgot. I'm like, babe, it's no big deal. I'm like, it just, but we leave things the way that we found them. He's like, yeah. And he's like, so could you leave this the way that you found it? I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. There right there is marriage. That is what marriage is all about. So anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so he's been making though a lot of coffee too in the Keurig and using it. I mean, we've really been using it a lot lately. He makes coffee in the morning for work, and then he like today made a cup of coffee. I was kind of surprised. Like usually just sitting around the house, like he won't have a cup of coffee, but like when he got up today, he made a cup of coffee in the Keurig. Usually only for like when he's going to work does he do it. But anyway, Alex can't stand the flavored coffee. He's like, always, he's like, ugh. I'm like, do you want a mochaccino or a peppermint? You know, he's like, oh no, I don't like any of that. He only likes like the just regular coffee, which is really funny because for so long I hated flavored coffee. Did you guys, in fact, probably on here, I used to talk about how, I think it was just through the holidays that it started changing a little bit, but like my mom would be like, I have hazelnut coffee, and I would be like, ugh. Like I didn't like flavored coffee, I just liked regular black coffee, which I still do. That's still my favorite. But the flavors have been fun through the winter. I like trying different flavors of coffee and stuff like that. I guess maybe it was kind of like something that happened with Patachou, because when we go to Patachou, on Sundays, well, every day, they have like a regular coffee, a regular decaf, which they call their Patachou blend, and then they also have a flavored coffee. And I love, love, love their blueberry crumble, but every week they have a different, well, every day they have a different flavored coffee. And so, I think I started drinking a lot of like more flavored coffee that way. And, And then I just bought a bunch of that coffee at Christmas time. So yeah, I don't know what I'll buy for the spring and summer. Probably just regular black coffee and try some different brands or something. Maybe blueberry crumble, that would be good for the summer. You know, I'm trying to think of the coffee flavors that they have at Patashi. They have like a caramel, a snickerdoodle, blueberry crumble, pumpkin spice. I mean, nobody wants to drink pumpkin spice in the summer though, you know. And I will say this summer, unless I start making like a pot of like iced coffee and keeping it in the fridge, I probably will go to Starbucks, because I do really like Starbucks iced coffee a lot. So I probably will start doing that a lot in this this summer. I don't want to finish my water. It's so cool to my palate. It's a little warm and toasty in here. I haven't listened to my true crime podcast in a couple days because I was trying to power through that book, The Third Rainbow Girl. Did I talk about that last night? So, or did I finish it afterwards? I finished The Third Rainbow Girl last night. It was horrible. Do you know, oh, there's all these deer on the side of the road right here. Hi. How are you guys? Did you guys see them? You probably can't see them, can you? How are you guys? What's going on? They're gonna go running through the field now. Yeah. White tails are up in the... So pretty. I think deer are such spiritual creatures. You know, I always like give like this really like critical review. I was gonna say harsh, but I do give like a harsh critical review of a book, right? And then afterwards, I always feel bad. Like when I'm on like video, I'll say something that's harsh or critical about it, right? But then I feel bad. Then I'm like, well, if I was the writer and I put all this time and effort into this book, like I would feel, you know, and then I start feeling bad about it. So I kind of like start like going, well, maybe it wasn't that bad and whatever. The book was not interesting. I mean, like, I started feeling really bad last night, like, when I finished the book, and I was, like, listening to the end of it, or whatever, and I was like, well, maybe I was too hard on her, or whatever. Okay, she literally dedicates 2 hours on the Audible book. First of all, the narration is, oh my God. It is some of the worst narration I have ever heard in any audiobook ever. In fact, last night after I said that, like, I was kind of like laughing because I was reading it, and there was a part, and I mean, it was literally like, she went up the street to the store. When she got to this, and I was like, this is bad. Like, this is really, really bad. The person doesn't seem interested in reading the book at all. The narration is horrible, and I think that she wrote the book, is what Mel told me. And then, the last 2 hours of the book, so the crime comes to an end. There's a second court trial because they think it's somebody else, and so they're going to exonerate this person, and on and on and on, right? Okay, so they have a second trial, and that's all said and done. And then when it's said and done, is basically like everything's done with her book, okay? That would have been a fantastic time to wrap up the book. Okay, we could have made the book, instead of being 10 hours or whatever, 10 hours and 44 minutes, we could have made the book 8 hours and 44 minutes, or 9.5 hours even, right? Oh, no. She goes on another 2 hours talking about her personal life and this town and everything about this town, and then goes through and interviews all the people that she's already interviewed before years later, talking to them about the case, which is really what the book should have been about all along, was her interviews with these people. That's what the book should have been about, but she saved it to like the very end. Like, I would have to say like the last 50 pages if you were reading it in book format. And I'm like, so I don't know. It really wasn't a true crime book. It was really a memoir told to the backstory of this true crime book. That the case, you know, I may have said yesterday that the case wasn't that interesting, but that's really not true. The case really was interesting, and the case could have been very well told, and it could have been a very eloquent true crime novel done very well, and even artistically in today's time, had it been handled in a completely different way. So, but it wasn't, and it just fell short. So I finished that, and then I started the Tanya Kappas book. I don't know what it's called. Something Caravans, Corpses, and something else like that. I don't know. It has to do with they're so funny, all of them. So they give her the key to the city because she has changed this campground so much. And then with the key to the city, they give her an honorary diploma to the high school where she has to teach this 6-week class, but she's real excited about it, on teaching the kids how to be economically sound and all this kind of stuff. So she's supposed to work with this coach that just happens to be staying at the campgrounds, who's kind of not a real nice guy. Well, he's nice to her, but he's not nice to really anybody else. And so she and her dog Fifi just happened to be going to his cabin because they wanted to run notes by on this class that they're going to run together. And she goes in and she finds him dead, and he's got an arrow in his back. And that's where I'm at right now. It's literally I'm half an hour into the book, because I was I want to go home and watch a movie, even though it was so late. Where am I at on time? So I was what movie should I watch? So I started watching that documentary from 2010 that I had downloaded. Well, I actually bought it and downloaded it a while ago, and it's called American Teen. And I started watching it, and I stayed up and watched the whole thing. And then in between it, I was looking up interviews of them and articles on where they're at now and stuff like that. So American Teen is this documentary that came out in 2001. And I would really love Alex to watch it because, he graduated in, I think, 2002. He graduated in 2002. So it would be close to when he was a senior in high school. So it was this director, and she wanted, I know part of this because I watched some of the interviews where they talked about it. She wanted to do this documentary where she followed a group of seniors around for their senior year in high school in the Midwest. And the cover of the movie is The Breakfast Club. It's the popular girl, the athlete, the nerd, the artsy girl, all this kind of stuff. It's done just like that, but with these actual people in those, it looks just like the cover of, or the poster for, I was going to say the cover of the VCR tape. The cover of the poster for The Breakfast Club. And so anyway, she went around to different schools and was auditioning different people and trying to figure out what school she wanted to do. And she ended up settling on this Warsaw High School in Warsaw, Indiana, which is north of here. Not too far, actually, from here. Probably an hour or so north of here. So she, and it's interesting because this town is very split. It's very wealthy families. And, I mean, even if you saw the houses they were in 2001, and it's been, 20 years now? Even if you saw the houses at that point of the rich families in that town, you still would be those are some incredible houses. So, the town is very split between really rich families and really poor families. And that is really how small-town Indiana is. Most small-town Indiana towns are like that. It's either really rich families or really poor families. There's not a lot of in-between. And, Indiana is a factory state. It's where we have a lot of factories. And so what I think typically happens in those cities is that you have the executives of the factories that do very well or own the factories, and then you have the people that work there. which are usually the rest of the community. But then you have doctors and lawyers that work there that are pretty professional. And so it's like you have, you know, like one part of town that financially does very well and the other part of town that doesn't do well and financially. And it's a good example of what a small Midwestern town is like, I think. Beautiful, though. Warsaw looked beautiful in this movie. So anyway, this director follows these... Well, there's like 5 or 6 main cast members, and then there's like 5 other ones on top of that she follows. So there's like the main girl, her name is Megan, and she's rich, and her storyline is she's kind of like wanting to constantly like get on revenge on people that like do her wrong and stuff, but she gets like she's valedictorian, and she's like the most popular girl in school, and she wants to get into Notre Dame because her dad and her brothers and sisters, all except for one sister, went to Notre Dame, and it's like that's her whole storyline. She wants to get into Notre Dame. And then there's this kid, his name is Colin, and he is this basketball star, and he just wants to play college basketball and then be recruited by the Pacers. Why is it so hot in here? What do I have the heat on? Well, that could be it. 77. So he wants to play college basketball for like a Big Ten school, and then he wants to play for the Pacers. Then there's this kid, and his name is Jacob, and he is like band, like he even says it, he's like band nerd, and he's always really down on himself. It's really hard to watch his part, because like he takes this girl to prom, or he takes this girl to this winter formal, and she's like, why did you ask me to go to the winter formal? And he goes, because we both suck at life. And I thought, if you told me that and we were on a date, I would literally get up and walk away. Like, if you told me that I suck at life, I mean, like, I don't care if you're saying it like we both suck at whatever, I'd be like out of there. So he just is really like self-deprecating, and it's really sad. Like, his storyline is kind of really sad. So, and then there is I guess there's only 4 main characters. The whole main storyline is really around this Hannah girl that's really artsy, and she's very much like what my friends and I were like in high school. And she's artsy and she's different, and she lives with her grandma, and it explains why in the movie, because her mom has mental health issues. Doesn't say why she doesn't live with her dad, but he got a job in Ohio, that's what she says. So she lives with her grandma, and her storyline is really cool. And then there's this guy named Mitch, and he's like the most popular guy in high school, and everybody wants to date him. And then, like, at one point, he gets a crush on that Hannah girl. And it's really sweet because you get to see a side of him that you don't really ever see throughout the rest of the show, because she pulls out the real person in him. But it's very much kind of like the movie Pretty in Pink. Like, he's so afraid of what people will think. And then Megan has her best friend. There's like this one scene when this girl who's like in the popular group, she sends some of the pranks that this Megan girl who gets into Notre Dame pulls, like, are not funny. Like, they just are not funny. And this one thing it's so mean. This girl likes this guy, so they're talking. Well, she doesn't like that they're talking, this Megan girl. I think she has a lot of jealousy issues with these guys, because I think she likes these guys, but she never dates any of them. And so she gets mad, and so this guy, like, sends the picture to somebody else, who sends the picture to no, scratch that. So he's talking to this girl and this guy are talking, right? And I didn't say this part. So she sends him a topless picture, of which he sends to somebody else, and it was just supposed to stay between he and his friend, who sends it to somebody else, who it ends up at this Megan's. Well, Megan literally copy and pastes, like, every email that she knows. I mean, she even says in there, my dad even saw it at one point. And that they designed a website that when you Google search this girl's name, this picture came up. I mean, really cruel stuff, you guys. It stopped. So anyway, I stayed up way too late last night. I was going to watch like 10 minutes of it, and I ended up staying up and watching the whole thing. And by the time that I got done watching it and the interviews on YouTube and things like that, I looked at the clock and it was 7:30. I was like, oh, well, I better go to bed. Because my sleep pattern is, who cares? My sleep pattern is a mess, and I don't care. Oh, my Lord. I'm almost out of my water, you guys. I might have to stop by the house and get some more water. The blackout curtains in our bedroom are so funny. And I don't think I'm the only one that is affected by them. Like, Boo and Tucker are affected by them too. Because I woke up and it's like pitch black, right? And so I said, you know, Alexa, lights on. And so like the lights come on. And I probably just said that and somebody in their house, their lights just came on. Alexa, lights on. So anyway, so Boo Radley comes down, he like stretches one leg and then the other leg. He's so cute how he does it. Your dogs ever do that? Where they stretch it out like real tight like that, like real sharp and tight. And then he went down, and the first thing he did was he went and he laid, Tucker was laying on the end of the bed, and he went and he laid real close right next to Tucker. And I said, you love your brother, don't you? And he looked back at me, he was the sweetest look on his little face. And I was like, you are so sweet that you went in to go check on your brother. And he went and laid right down next to his brother. So anyway, we laid there for a little bit. And then, before I lay down and I took my nap tonight, I told him, I said, this is the night that the story of the deers happened. They love the story of the deers. I've told that on here before, but basically the story of the deers, it changes every time. You never know what's going to happen in the story, so you have to always listen because it could change, right? But the story of the deer is where Boo and Tucker, it's always, Tucker's very worried, and Boo's like, don't worry about it, Tucker, I got it. But it's where they get farther. They're having an adventure out in the yard, and then night starts to happen, and bad weather, inclement weather, that was the spelling word for the week, inclement weather starts happening, and then they start getting further and further away, and Tucker says, I don't see our dads, Boo, and Boo says, don't worry about it, I got it, figured out, Tucker. And then they find the deer, and then then they're far away from home, far away, and their dads are very worried about them. And then the whole time I'm telling this story, they're just like this, looking at me. They're so cute. And then they stay with the deer overnight, and they have squirrel stew that has bits of honey and sticks and chestnuts. I'm making this up as I go. And anyway, they just stare at me the whole time. They're so cute. The deer story is they sleep with the deer in their beds, their nests, and the deer have this area where all these trees are in a circle, and they sleep in the middle of it, and it's protected by the deer soldiers. And so Boo and Tucker are protected all night long, and they sleep next to this warm fire. Then in the next morning, when the storm is so bad still and it's snow outside, they ride on the backs of the deers back to their house, and then the deer drop them off at their dad's house, and they're all home sweet home. They go back into bed again, and they get all cozy. That's the story of the deers. I have all kinds of stories. The story of the deers actually started a long time ago because I wanted to write a children's book. And it was actually gonna be called oh shoot. Something of the dog in French, like it's Le Chien dog. But anyway, and it was going to be based on Tanya's kennel. And there was going to be these dogs that lived at the kennel. And the dogs were Pee-Pee and Boo and Tucker, they lived at the kennel. And then this other Chihuahua, she came and moved into the kennel. And she was a ballerina Chihuahua. And I can't remember what her name was. But it was it wasn't really a kennel. I started telling the story about the book, and then I went in and started telling a story about, and I said this person's name. Anyway, it wasn't really about a kennel, the kennel. It was about these, like, it was like a home for friendless animals. And Tanya and I had watched this documentary, and it was called Shelter Dogs, way back in the day. And it was this woman that she ended up killing a lot of these dogs. I took huge issue with this movie. And so Tanya and I would talk about this movie all the time. And because whenever she had an aggressive dog, she would euthanize it, but then she would but its last treat before she would euthanize it was she would get it chicken nuggets from McDonald's. So anyway, Tanya and I, at the time, we would say, if you ever see somebody and they come at you with chicken nuggets, start running. But anyway, so the book was going to be about these dogs that lived in this home for friendless animals where their people had passed away and whatever. So Pee-Pee was going to be Tanya's dog in the book, and had always been. And Boo and Tucker lived there, and they were these two little idiot brothers that nobody ever wanted to adopt. And then there was going to be this Chihuahua. It was going to be very much kind of what was that movie back in the day with Penny and the Two Mice. Why can't I think of that movie? That Disney movie. I loved that movie back in the day. Oh, my head is saying The Borrowers, but it's not that. What is that movie with Penny? The Disney movie with Penny. Anyway, it was going to be kind of like that, and there's this female Chihuahua, and her lady died, and so she was a ballerina Chihuahua, and she wore tutus and stuff, and she came to live there, and she was very frail, and oh, how can I ever do it anyway? And Pee-Pee fell in love with her, and but one night there was this horrible snowstorm, and they heard the howling of the wolves and all this kind of stuff. And what is that movie with Penny? I used to love that movie. She sings that one song in it, and they live in a swamp. But anyway, I can't remember what I was going to say. Yeah, but that was going to be a story. There was going to be this mystery, and then Pee-Pee and... Oh, no. Somebody comes and steals her, this Chihuahua, this female Chihuahua. Somebody comes and steals her. So Pee-Pee and Boo and Tucker, they have to go with the assistance of the deers out into the woods to find this French socialite Chihuahua, past ballerina. And that was going to be the first book. And I was going to write this children's book. But that never happened. 900 of my plans. But hey, you know what? That's okay. I'm an ideas kind of guy. Come up with the ideas. You don't... Not all of them follow through, but some of them do. I'm pulling in here to see what this movie is, because it's going to drive me crazy. And I know as soon as I start searching it, it's going to, I'm going to remember what it is. It's a Disney movie. I know some of you have already said it. Disney movie with Penny. The Rescuers. I love that movie so much. And then there was The Rescuers Down Under. I just watched that, actually. It feels like not too long ago. And I don't think it was the best movie in the world. Take it out of neutral, put it into drive. You know, it's interesting when Tanya talks about, moving somewhere else, or, I mean, they've talked about forever, moving to Tennessee or moving to Florida, more likely Florida, to be close to her grandkids. But she and Eric have talked about that for a long time. And she'll say, when I moved to Florida, and it's just like, you know, it's so strange to me because for 24 years of my life, 25 years of my life, you know, well, 24 years, I guess, Tanya and I, like, I can drive to her house every day. I can drive to the kennel every day. I mean, like, she has been my, you know, we're talking about safe spaces that one night. I mean, she's been my safe space. That she's always been there. Like, I can't even imagine what that would be like if... I mean, it's one thing to have somebody that you can just call on the phone. It's another thing to know that they're just, like, right down the street. I don't know. Her home and the kennel are almost as much, like... They feel like home to me as much as my own home does, you know? Sometimes more, because they've kind of been in my life longer, more consistently. I mean, not longer. I mean, my mom moved into this condo before then, but, I don't know. They just seem like real safe spaces to me, you know? I can't even tell you how many times I've been to that condo. I can't tell you how many times I've been to Tanya's, you know? It's crazy. Think about that. Isn't it interesting, these safe places that we create in our lives? It's like certain gas stations we go to or grocery stores, I think, are kind of like the same thing, you know? It's like, I went through a period, I don't really do this anymore. I mean, I still do talk to people late at night, but I went through this period, this was like, I talked about this on the vlog too, where, because I'm up late at night vlogging, I would go into the gas stations, you know, get water or something to drink or whatever, pump my gas, whatever. And I would end up talking to these guys that worked in these gas stations, you know, men and women, and enough to know their names, you know, enough for them to be like, hey, Peter, how are you? And I mean, I would be in there every night. And I remember the first time it happened, it was this guy that worked up at the gas station near me. And, I mean, I literally went in there every day for 6 months and talked to him. And that was while I was doing YouTube, because I can remember explaining to him what I did, and he was real interested in it. And then one day I came in and he said, this week's my last week. And I was like, what? And I was devastated about it. Like, I almost got, like, it was real weird. Like, because I just don't have, like I said, I don't have tons of people in my life. I know it sounds weird. I'm not stupid. I know it sounds weird to think that you have some kind of emotional attachment to the people that work at the gas station. But, like, when you don't have a lot of people in your life, that is kind of, you know. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, be really sad to see. And then I was just kind of like, I think it's like the ritual of it or something. But then there was this other woman, this older woman that worked in there, and she and I became close to, and it was the same kind of thing. And then by the third person that worked in this gas station that I went to, right up the street, the Thorntons, there was this gal that worked in there, this woman, and I would talk to her every night for like a year. And when she left, and she left because she got a better job, and I was really happy for her and stuff. But I was like, why are you getting so close? Did I just honk the horn? I was like, why are you getting so close to these people? Just to feel like, you know, these staples in your life that are, I mean, this person's not going to work at the gas station for the next 20 years, you know? And it has nothing to do with you. It's not like it's personal or anything. And, but I'm thankful that I met those people, you know? I'm thankful that we had little inside jokes or something that they would say to me when I came inside, or, you know, that they were friendly with me and I got to know them, and I'm thankful for that. I'm real thankful for it. But it is weird, you know, it's like some of the restaurants you go to, I think it's harder, you know, it's like, I can remember when I was growing up, And my parents would say stuff like, okay, well here, for example, like right here, this used to be Peach's Records, okay, and now it's a Pilates studio. You know, it's like when you grow older, my parents would do that. My mom would be like, oh, right there used to be Peach's Records or something, you know, or this used to be the trophy shop, and because this right here used to be, right here in this corner in Broderpool, that used to be the trophy shop. I mean, actually they sold trophies. It wasn't just called that. They actually sold trophies, and now it's Scotty's Pub, or Brothers. And so, you know, I think it's hard, like, as you get older and stuff changes. It's like, do you remember when your parents were, when you were growing up and your parents would say, oh, and, I mean, these were my old stomping grounds when I was in high school, Broderpool. None of this looks the same. Right there was Hardwick's tobacco store. We used to go there, and it doesn't exist anymore. We used to go there and buy cloves. It was the only place you could get clove cigarettes at. But, you know, I can remember when I was growing up, and my dad and my mom would be like, oh, right there was this, and right there was that, and, you know, this has changed so much, and whatever, and I can remember thinking, oh, God, they're so old, listening to them telling these stories and whatever, but it's true, things change, you know, and become different as you get older, and it's hard sometimes to watch that happen, you know, and see it happen, and this world that it's like, have you ever been like, oh, we should go to that restaurant? Well, what restaurant? Oh, you know, that restaurant that we used to go to the first year we dated, we loved it, and then you find out that restaurant doesn't exist anymore, you know? I mean, I guess it's a case of sentimentality and walking down memory lane. That's hard sometimes, but I would say, especially in today's time too, you know, like in our parents' generations, if you're my age, like, restaurants stayed open 30, 40 years, you know, sometimes, or places like that did. You know, today it's like a restaurant might have a longevity of 2 years if they're lucky, you know? Not many restaurants stay open. And I think that's why places like Taylor's Bakery and stuff like that really do mean a lot to, like, me and Caroline and other people my age. It's like, you know, Melissa is very much like that too. Melissa is somebody, and, you know, even though she's a few years younger than me, that, like, she gets really caught up in this. She's not a super emotional person, but she does get caught up in the sentimentality of things, you know, and talking about, like, do you remember this from the past, and do you remember that, and whatever, and I like remembering those things. Those are things that meant something to me, and, you know, made my life interesting, and those were the little details along the way. This coffee is still so hot. Woo! It's really good though. This is like I said, this is the Modd's cinnamon sugar cookie, and it's really good. It's a little spicy, but not bad at all. Not like a sharp spiciness. And it's strong, but I wouldn't say it's dark roast. I would say it's more of a blonde roast. What happened over here? What went down? Oh, like an electrical pole or something went down. I'm telling you, when me and the pups lay down to take a nap, at midnight, it was blustery and torrential downpours. I mean, it was bad. And that's why I was like, it's just going to freeze all over. And, like, I'm not going to go out in that if it's going to be freezing, you know? No. Do you guys remember that song? She did like reggaeton. I don't know why I just remembered this. My ex and I used to love this song. No, by Dawn Penn. Was that her name? You can make me think I love you. Or something like that. Oh God, I loved that song back in the day. I know that's her name, Dawn Penn. I'm almost positive of it. And I think the song is called No, but those are most definitely not the words. I don't know what the words are, but those are not it. I kind of feel like trying something different tomorrow at brunch, but I don't know what I want to try that's different. Dream. I can't believe. Well, Sundays are my favorite day. And tomorrow is book club, which is one of my favorite things. So tomorrow will be like a great day. But I can't believe that we are going into a new week. Just seems crazy to me. It's the beginning of a new week already. Not yet, but tomorrow. The Alice Oseman book that I'm reading is really cute. I was gonna say sweet and really cute, which came out sweet. It's really sweet. It's Nick and Charlie, and it's the summer before school, and Nick is getting ready to go on a vacation with his mom for 3 weeks, and Charlie wants to tell him I love him, or I love you, and that's literally like the first third of the book. It's a graphic novel. It's so easy to read. It's such a fast read. I feel like I read somewhere that they're turning it into like a TV show or something like that, which I would absolutely love. But I don't know if we'll see that if that happens. I think tonight when I get done vlogging, I'm going to listen to a little bit of my audiobook. I only have like an hour and 40 minutes. It's really short. It's like 4 hours and 16 minutes, and I've already listened to like a half an hour. And so, yeah, I was going to try to finish it by this weekend. And now, because I slept, well, because I went to bed at midnight and got up at like 3 whatever, I'm like, was I even in bed before that maybe? I don't know what time I went to bed. But I'm like rested and awake. I just need more water. That's all I need. But I'm close to home, so I'm going to go home and maybe fill that up and then listen to a little bit of my audiobook. No, no, no. Now, if you're watching this on Sunday I am posting this video on my Peter Does Stuff channel. And on it, I show a lot of these organizers that I bought on Amazon. You guys should definitely check this out because these organizers are really, really cool. And I actually want to buy like some highlighters. If I have time tomorrow, I might do that. I want to maybe like go to Meijer and buy some I bought some pens, but I want to buy some highlighters and some things like that to do this one notebook with, because this one notebook that I got is so cool. And it's like this yearly planner, but it also has in there like what are your goals for the year and all of that kind of stuff. And whereas I usually make like this whole list and do all this kind of stuff, which I keep on meaning to do, I was like, I'm just going to go through and use this book and really see like how well it works, because it's just like a really cool thing. And then you can put in the beginning of it like 2022 and your name and all this kind of stuff. And I thought it would be fun to look at the end of the year and see like, you know, where am I at the end of the year? How is it, you know, how is it going for me on this? How is it going for me on this chart of charts? You know what I mean? But anyway, no, I thought that would be cool. So, and then Tanya got me this Oprah Gratitude book list. Oh, okay. That tow truck just ran right through the red light. So she got me, it's like a gratitude daily affirmation planner as well, but I probably won't use the planner part of it, but the affirmation and the because I mean I don't need 3 planners, right? And then but the affirmation and the gratitude list is really cool, and it asks you, it has all these like writing prompts and stuff like that. I love stuff like that, just to get your mind rolling on doing like daily inventory for yourself and stuff. I just think it's super, super healthy. And then I was trying to swallow and I couldn't swallow there for a second. I need water. And then what was I saying? Oh, and then I also bought like just a regular daily planner so I can put like my appointments and stuff like that, and my recovery commitments and meetings and all that kind of stuff in there, because I just love like planning stuff out and looking at stuff in advance, and I love just to be organized. I really want a desk like when we get the house redone, like that's definitely one thing I want, is like I want a desk, like a huge table desk that I can work at. Because right now I work on the end of the dining room table, which is fine. I mean, it's totally fine. But, I mean, it's not like we're using the dining room table for anything else. And I'm actually pretty organized right there. But the other end of the table is like all of Alex's stuff. And it just... And then past that is like this buffet table we have that Alex and I both have all this stuff on. Like I have all these graphic novels and records and all this. I mean, it's kind of messy over there. And it's not messy, it's like organized, but it's like a lot of stuff. And I just would feel better if I had like a desk that was just for myself. You know what I mean? Just my desk area. So, I mean, Alex is like, if you want to reorganize all this stuff and get some of the stuff taken out of here, he's like, you can get rid of the dining room table. I don't care. He was like, and then you can get this desk that you want so bad. But then I would kind of feel like a teacher if I just had like a desk in the middle of the room. We'll see. Anyway, one of these days. Well, the kitchen area is almost clean, so then that area right there, I mean, it's not like... There's not like a kitchen. I mean, there's not like a desk there, but there's like a corner where I've got like, you know, everything set up. And then in that cabinet is where all the office supplies and stuff are. So it is getting more organized. And then once that's done, and then I clean off like the dining room table and stuff like that, then it really will be organized. And then some days I just don't care. Do you ever like feel like that? Like some days I feel like I can be more creative and more productive when I'm working in this organized space, or I've organized state of mind. But then there are other days that I just don't really care. Like I'm not talking about like the books. Like no, the books, like I love all that stuff and getting excited about the, you know, organizing books. And this planner that I bought, I had seen, like, it's called Clever Fox. I'd seen it on like Instagram. And but I didn't know that was the name of it. And so when I got online and I wanted to buy a planner, I saw these and I was like, oh, this is what I'm gonna get. This is really cool. It has gratitude and affirmations, all this kind of stuff in there. So I got it. I love all that kind of stuff. I'm talking as far as like the organization of like right in front of you. Like some days I feel like I need to have like the table dusted down and everything in place and all that kind of stuff. And other days I'm just like, yeah, it's just like, it doesn't really affect me on a deeper level like that. I just really don't get all bent out of shape about it, you know? It's interesting. Like yeah, it's interesting on what bothers me on what days, I guess. Anyway, I'm coming up on an hour of vlogging, and I think I'm gonna get off here now and listen to a little bit of my audiobook and turn around and head home and get some water, because I am very thirsty. The coffee is delicious, but I need water. So I'm gonna go home and get some water. Anyway, I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Sunday. You know, Sundays are my favorite day of the week. Hope that you're getting rejuvenated and refreshed for the week ahead. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. And do something this weekend to relax for the week ahead. Do something this weekend that will make you happy, or do something tonight that will make you happy. Smile to yourself before you go to bed. You are loved. You're going through a tough time right now. Things will get better. I don't know when, I don't know how, but they will. They'll get a little bit better. And I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya! Oh, and for those that need to hear it, and those that want to hear it, and those that just happen to stick around, one more I love you. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. I love you, Lena. Happy birthday, Lena. Bye. Happy birthday, Lena. Love you. One more I love you. Bye. Love ya. Happy birthday, Lena.